Are you going to do the one in the middle now, or the little ones,
Do
or?
the one in the middle now to start,
Okay.
but you have to kind of do that if you sides, because everything has to meet up and there's not a lot of leeway on the sides to make adjustments. The longer the board, the easier it is to change things as you saw with that
Okay.
board up there. So what I'll do is I'll cut the position it hopefully exactly the same as the two sideboards. That should be extremely level because they checked with the molding and they seem to be identical. And then probably cut the side pieces, just tack the main board, cut the side pieces, make sure that they fit well, and then I can put the main board in
Okay.
one center. And again, I'll focus on this end to make sure this end is as good as possible in order to, be pleasing to the eye when you look at it.
Oh, I got you. Sacrificed. It'll be the invisible side on. Well, not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I'm looking at that front piece, and if I am right, the outer corner here, that's going to be some kind of a compound angle, isn't it?
Yes.
That you have to cut?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The
We'll get to see that then.
depending on the type of molding, whether it's 45 or 51 degree or whatever, the miter saw has presets or markings where you can set the saw. So you just need to look up. I have a table that you can look up. Tell you for this type of molding, 51 degree. These are the settings you need.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
you just set them there, and once I set them, I like to keep them there as long as possible. For instance, I'll do these three pieces. I'll
Right.
leave the saw like that. I'll do the end of the piece over here. I'll do the end of the piece over here. So
Okay.
those will all be cut using the same angle, guaranteed. Now, once I have to do things like some straight 45 cuts in the centers, that changes things. But for now,
Gotcha.
I'll use all of it
Because-
being the same.
Because some of these settings you might not be able to repeat them with the same precision.
You can get them close, but
Right.
start by trying to make them exact, and if they're not exact, then you can.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so that's the plan. So first thing is measure.
First thing is measure. Measure twice. Cut once. All right, there's Tom up on the ladder, measuring from this outside edge here. Trying to, anyway.
Yep. I should ask for new rulers for Christmas. 73 1/4.
73 1/4 to the outer edge.
That's the inside measurement. It's important to know.
Now, you say inside measurement. I'll rephrase that. Along the bottom edge of the molding?
73 1/4. What's going to happen is the wood's going to be up at an angle.
Yes.
Okay, the bottom is 73 1/4.
Right.
The top will be
Right. Whatever it winds up being after you.
two times, like about 5 inches more.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're getting wood to use, for instance, if that's 73 1/4, you have to add about 5. It's 78 1/4. So 7-footer will work, but you have to kind of count on the fact that you have to add 3 inches almost
Right.
to each end that's going to be an outside.
Right. Because the length along the bottom edge of the molding is less than the length along the top edge of the molding
By a big difference.
when you have these outside corners like
Correct.
this. Okay. Now, you were saying earlier that there are different settings that you can use to make these cuts on your saw based on whether it's a 51 degree and 39 all that?
Right.
And is that on the internet or is that,
It's on the internet. I got a copy of it and I'll probably go down and grab it before. But
oh, okay,
there's two settings that I've used a
okay.
gazillion times, but
Gazillion
I'll
times.
verify it before I.
But the thing you're also going to try to do here is you're going to try to make cuts on other lengths of boards that will use the same setting so that you don't have to have take it down and change it error kind of thing.
Every one of the 4 cuts going on, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts going on, will be with the same angle. So once it's set, I'd like to make those 6 cuts
Okay.
prior to doing anything else.
Now you said 6 cuts. And I got it. But one of those cuts, I'm going to come around here, is going to be for the little piece up here that's going to meet the existing piece.
Right, that's going to get 2 cuts. That's going to get the inside corner and an outside corner.
Okay, but those are not the same settings on your saw, are they?
Yes.
Oh, they
of course
are. Oh.
The molding
Okay.
is all going to be up at the same angle. So the settings will always remain the same.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see how that
What
comes
you
out.
do with the piece of wood and how you put it in and which end you cut and whether you make it outside edge or inside edge, those are all things that you determine when you go to do it.
Okay.
Okay?
All
But
right.
the angle stays the same.
Okay.
All right? So
Right.
we'll go cut.
We'll go cut.
We'll go cut. This one's not going to be long enough because it's a 7-footer. 84 inches, maybe a little. I don't think so though.
Well,
73 and a quarter? This
70.
one's 84. So it's probably just about enough.
Yeah, because the top edge would be what?
Well, the top edge is going to be about 5 inches more, so it's going to be around
78 and a quarter.
79, right.
So you got that right.
So we'll give it a shot.
Okay.
73
Next
and
move.
a quarter, that's inside edge.
Yes, sir.
Inside bottom.
Head up onto the garage and watch how all this happens. This is
I'm going to have to go down and grab my sheet of paper and my.
okay. We'll see you out there then.
Okay.
We're at the garage now, and Tom is going to start making some compound cuts.
Okay. This is hot install crown molding. I have no idea what site I got it off of, but I'm sure there are a zillion of these on the internet. They've 2 columns, as you can see here, a 5238. I've been calling them 5139. It doesn't make a difference, and a 4545. So,
okay.
and what it does is it goes down, and depending on the angle, because you might have situation where you have like a slanted ceiling or something, where the angle might be different than 90 degrees.
Oh.
Okay, so you can figure it out on these. In this case, we're doing a 90-degree angle. We're doing 52/30
Gotcha.
crown molding.
Gotcha.
So we need a setting of 31.6 for the miter and 33.9 for the bevel. Now, if you look at this, you'll see here's on the saw, there's a heavy set for 31.62. So if you don't know the difference between a miter and bevel, not a problem. The miter obviously is that one because that's 31.6.
Okay.
Okay, so we turn this, lock it in at 31.6.
Gotcha.
Now the bevel is done on the top, on the salt portion. 31.6. Okay, and that one needs to be set at 33.9. Now, you notice on here, this doesn't have the same type of sets, but it does have a marking at 33.9. Okay, you see the, kind of like the arrows, if you will.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Finally got
So
some
that's
focus.
the marking. All right, so
Okay.
what we're gonna do is,
Oh, and now, so that one doesn't have a thing that locks
doesn't have
in
a
place.
stop.
A stop.
Okay.
That makes it hard to repeat if you had to keep switching back and forth.
Exactly. I mean, you won't always be exactly the same, I guess, unless you do this for a million years. There we go. There. So that's set. Pretty much right on. Okay, there's the mark. That seems to be pretty much right on it. All right, so we're gonna put that on. Tighten it up tight because of
Tighten it up tight, yeah.
tendency to move. Okay, now, thinking this, the inside is going to get cut more than the outside. Okay? In other words, it's going to cut back here this way.
Yes.
Right? So this will work for the left-hand side, because that's exactly what we're going to the left-hand side. Shorter on the bottom, taller on the top.
Okay.
Okay? So we make our left-hand side of this start.
So you're just gonna cut this end off,
I'm going to cut this at the angle.
kind of like you did before to make a right angle, a reference cut. So you're gonna start with this, and then you're gonna measure from there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, to the other cut. The other cut, you want it to go the other way, okay? So if I take the miter from that side to this side, lock it in again, okay? And now you can see that the way you want to cut is this way, so it's taller on the top, shorter on the bottom, okay?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is measure on the bottom, okay, because it's the only one we have a measurement for, at
Yep.
73 1/4.
73 1/4.
I remember that, right?
Now this is a little sketchy over here
This is a little tough to do.
because this one is wow.
All right, now
You gotta
73
measure.
1/4.
You gotta measure right off of that corner down here, right?
Yes, well, yeah, this is going to be on the wall,
Right.
right? And that'll be flat to the wall. So that's the measuring point. The 73 1/4
Right.
is there to the same spot
Right.
on the other end.
Want this back over where it was?
Well, around here. I'm just trying to get this so this will stay at the top.
Hmm. Wow. This requires some comfortable knowledge of how your saw operates. 'Cause-
Yes.
But now what Tom's gonna have to do now is position this pencil mark somewhere here so that the saw blade cuts to the right-hand side of it.
Right.
Wow.
Cut it right down there.
Right. This is kind
Now-
of a tricky thing.
Yes and no. It's not too bad. Right, so we'll look at that, make sure. Got that, so it's-
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna make the right matching cut, because you see, I'm gonna come down this end, and now you see how you're gonna have, you've got your short end here, and your long end there. So now, when you come to where the saw blade's gonna come passing through the wood, it should be just the reverse, and you can see that that's how everything is set up. Your miter is set up at that same angle, there you go.
But notice the bevel doesn't change.
Okay,
That controls the angle on the wall, whereas this is just controlling the cut, where it's on
yes,
the wall cut.
yes. Okay,
So I got 73 1/4. Now, the way I do this, there's two different ways of doing it. But bring the saw down, you can see how much space there is between the blade and the kerf.
okay.
All right, and that kind of tells you where the saw blade's going to be in relationship to the curves.
Put your finger down there again without getting your finger cut.
Well, I'm just wondering where. Make sure something's not burning here.
Something did seem to be coming out of there. All right, so you're showing us,
This is a curve.
that's the curve right there.
Okay, you can see there's probably 1/8 of an inch between the
Yes.
kerf and the blade.
Yes.
Okay. So this needs to be 1/8 of an inch in here
Right.
for it to be where you want it.
Right, so you're actually eyeballing that pencil mark to be in about 1/8 of an inch that away relative to that gap.
Yes, in this case, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the thing I also want to do, you got to realize that this sits up quite a ways.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
so you got to account for that too, because the blade, when it cuts through here, is not going to be right where that is, so.
So this is where experience comes in. And I guess here's, Tom, where we should say to people doing this for the first time that they should buy a little extra wood and practice.
Here's what I
Right.
generally would do, especially initially. First, I pick a couple corners, do all your measurements and everything like that. I cut some short pieces, cut them with the angles, put them up, see how they match. Okay, make sure that they're down as far as they're supposed to be, etc. So waste 2 or 4 feet of wood, keeping your hands away from the blade, so
Yeah.
use longer pieces. And if you have small pieces that you need, you can use them later. It's not a big deal. But don't try to make your first cut your most major cut with your longest piece of mold.
Right, right.
Practice by starting small.
Yep. Makes perfect sense. And the kind of thing Tom is trying to illuminate here, again, he's made some changes and settings on the machine, he moved this around to that angle, this around to that angle, but positioning the wood, that's something that takes a little bit of experience to know how it is, how to do it. And you're not going to get that from watching a video. You're going to get that from practicing on a few pieces and learning what works.
Keep in mind, this is the wall side, this is the ceiling side.
Yes,
So our measurement in this case is on the wall side.
correct.
And we know that it's supposed to be longer on the ceiling side, and we just make sure that it looks like the blade's been cut the correct way.
Correct. So
That cut all the way through. That me?
that cut way to the right.
Way short, because the marks on this edge.
Yeah.
Yet, this is where the saw cuts to, because this is about 1/4 of an inch higher. But now I know exactly how far over to move it. I could see where it is.
Yes.
It's probably on the other side. It should be right about there. Now, cutting it long is not a problem. Cutting it short can be a problem. However, if that happened, I would use this piece somewhere else.
Right.
And I would already have a cut maybe for an outside
Yes.
that I already need.
Yes. Gotcha.
But like you say, buy Oh, it's still pretty far. All right, that might be a little bit long. We're gonna go with that. The reason being is that a little long, I get a little bit, a little
Can't add material.
I can't cut it longer.
You can't cut it longer, exactly.
All right, so we'll see this, and now we'll find another piece. We'll start working on it at the same time. We'll be on the left side. We can start making an angle, right? So we need, let's see what
So now, Tom is going to be cutting a shorter piece now. He's going to be trying to make one of the little tiny end pieces. And this time, he's reversing the logic where on this piece that we just cut over here, it's longer at the top and shorter on the bottom. But on the little end piece that's got to butt up against the one that's already on the wall, it's got to be the opposite. It's got to be longer on the bottom and shorter on the top. Right? Did I get that right?
Good.
Okay.
That's still not right. That's not right. Okay.
Flip it around. Got to do that. Make sure you get your...
Here's the reason, is that when you put that up to it, it won't match in.
Right.
The outside cut, we need to be inside.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we'll do is we'll cut it the same miter, but we'll cut it open. Okay. So now this profile is the exact profile that
Yes.
it's going on to. This wood is in the way. Okay?
Okay.
What we need to do is to let's go back. Get that wood out. In these cases, the bigger piece of wood that you're working with, the better off you are. So if you're going to do this, do this end first, and then cut the other end, in this case, the open angle.
Okay.
And if you end up wasting a piece of wood, you do. But if you go through all this work, after you've done that, I mean,
Because what you're doing now is handcrafting, really.
yes, yeah, and this wood would hit the board first. So what I want to do is get this profile to be the profile of the wood.
Ah, and then you're just going to run it right straight up against the other board.
Correct.
Ah, okay. This doesn't look like a very easy thing to do.
It's not easy at all. And you got to sort of bevel it back too, because otherwise the wood will still hit first as it comes down. So you can see that I've got an angle on the blade, the symbol on the blade. And all I'm doing is following the profile.
So if it's not obvious to the viewers, he's actually cutting a profile so that this piece of molding can simply slide right up against the one it's going to mate with. And the contours will simply match.
You wash your hands too.
Yeah, I can see that. So how he's turning that saw to follow the profile here.
Break a lot of blades too, so break a blade and go in the bottom.
And you can see why Tom said, you know, this is quite a bit of work here. Manual craftsmanship kind of work, but you don't want to waste it. Wow, never seen this operation done before. This is actually quite interesting, how you're doing it.
The first one probably won't be as easy.
And I must say, having now observed this, that was pretty, you did a pretty slick job there. Look at that.
Pretty close, about as close as you're gonna get it. I
Pretty
mean,
close.
see, I can, generally do, you look at the bottom of it, and you see where you have wood that's kind of like overhanging?
Right.
Cut it off, you know, get
Yeah.
even closer.
Yeah. So this saves you the trouble from having tried to make 45-degree angles or something like that on both of these matching pieces. Because you're just, not, I say the word just.
I don't know of any other way of doing this. Now, professional might have a different way.
Okay, let's hold that piece up again. Yep. So people can, I might not have had the camera looking at the right thing. So you can get to see now how the one just fits right into the other, and you didn't have to make any of those nasty cuts. The one he's holding here didn't get cut at all. The other one's just butting right up against it.
Right.
That's the idea behind this technique. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now, measuring from here, which is the inside corner,
Yes.
okay, I need to,
You don't have that measurement, do you? Or
I
you-
didn't measure it.
Oh, you didn't measure that?
It's around 7 inches, but I did not.
Okay, let's go measure that one.
We'll measure that.
So Tom is now checking his handiwork. He's fitting a little piece to see if the edges line up dimensionally with the one it mates to and the one that will mate to it. That will go along the front. How's it looking?
Looks perfect.
Perfect.
The hardest part now will be putting this piece up in the front and being sure that it's the right length,
Okay.
because my arms just aren't that long. Let's see how that meets. Ooh, the set of hands over there, it's kind of nice.
Anything I can do
Well, in a minute, when I get this positioned, you can tell me what it looks like.
on this end?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not a good fit. Bottom corner, can you tell?
Yeah, I would say it looks pretty darn good.
The bottom, so the bottom,
Yeah.
real bottom quarter should be right on it where it's angled.
Now, the other thing we can do is on the side, Tom has tacked to one side of it, and now he's coming over to see if it's the right length.
Actually, let's go back a little bit. Okay.
What'd you think of the length of it?
I think it's a little long.
Yeah, I was afraid it might be a little long. So because Tom had originally only put one nail into that big piece of crown molding into the backer board, he was able to shift it a tad after coming to the other end and seeing that it was a 1/16 of an inch or so long. So he's now moved it a little bit to the left, which has split the difference and apparently made it both ends okay. Now he's going to do something with the little piece to see how well it fits in between the two of those. And if he is satisfied that a little bit of caulk will fill in whatever gaps there are, then he'll nail that one in place. What do you think, Chief?
Like Snickers, it satisfies you.
All right.
Oh,
All right, let's let him get some more nails in. So he's satisfied with the position of it. Now he's going around and put more nails in, influencing it a little bit to ride the ceiling. Stops. I love things like this. Simple, effective. It allows him to repeat consistent measurements anywhere he needs to. And because they overlap each other, he's able to fit that on top of his backboard and still do his measurements. Sometimes the cleverest things in life are simple. Tom is feeling that something on the little piece isn't quite right. It looked good when he had it up there before.
some stuff off it.
Another.
Huge.
Here's where the fussy
Small
perfection is.
tolerances, and you can see on the back side, I think what's happening is this is getting in the way as well as that.
Oh, okay.
Just cut off these back pieces.
Just need to get a little meat out of it.
Yeah, just
So-
kind of clean up it. I mean,
Yeah.
this should be, if anything, should go in a little bit, and I think it's still stuck out. I'm hoping that's what makes the difference.
I'm pretty sure you're right. It's a little more meat than meets the eye.
Yeah,
All right, go carve.
I'm gonna go carve.
So Tom has returned from the garage where he has gone back out with the little piece, and he's trimmed off a little extra material that was in the back of it to see if it would fit better. Oh, from the angle down here, that outside. Here's where some people would just nail it in place, and other people, maybe Tom's one of those today, is going to take it back out to the garage, take it to the woodshed again. All right, getting closer. And he's back. Now the question is he satisfied? See, he's fitting in a small piece that's got it made up with two other pieces. And if you recall, this angle, oh, he's nailing. This is the perspective from which he wants it to look its best. That looks pretty good. It looks good, and yeah, I mean, a little bit of caulk in the right places, and it'll look like one continuous piece. Setting the nails within the ring all the way. And we're back. So we're back here. Tom has, as you can see, I'm going to walk us around. He has got some crown molding up, and now it goes around the top of his new fireplace. And he even got the little piece in here that we weren't showing yesterday. He did that one, following the same kind of technique and approach he used yesterday to cut and fit that little piece in there to length. So there are, as good as this looks, and it does really look good, but you know, you've got these little gaps and imperfections that are absolutely a feature of doing this kind of work in this imperfect thing we call the stick-built house. So today, he's going to show us his technique and the equipment he uses to go fill in some of those little gaps with caulk so that they just disappear, and you wind up with a professional looking installation that to the eye looks like one continuous seam of wood.
Okay, so what I have here, I got standard caulk gun. They make two different sizes. The other one's about yay big, professional size.
Yeah.
Can be used. This
Okay.
is just a pressure. So when you do this, it plunges this.
I'll do that again.
This is just creates a pressure
Okay.
because as you plunge it,
It pushes that
push this in,
And
and this keeps it from going back.
and this is going to go in here
That's going to go in there.
like yo.
I use this. I mean, DAP.
let's take a look at that.
Could be anything you want.
This says Dynaflex 230. Now, we're not endorsing this particular product, so don't get carried away with that. There's all kinds of them out there. But this just happens to be what Tom uses.
And I use it in white. It doesn't match exactly, but it's a good starting point.
Okay?
And you can see that I've cut the tip with a utility knife to cut it at an angle. When it comes,
where the
it's
heck is
just
it?
round to a point.
Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Okay. Yeah, we can see
Right.
that angle. Yep. Okay.
So there's a handy piece to make sure it's open.
Oh, I see. Now, does that come on that thing?
That comes on the thing, yep.
Oh, okay. So that way that you just jam it in there because the last time
It comes on this one,
comes on this one.
all right.
But
It might not all have them.
if you don't have that, you might have to find something else to jam in there, just in case
A nail.
the case the tip of the thing got clogged up and you've got to free it. Yeah, a nail would work. Right, exactly.
For most part, they'll work.
Okay.
Sometimes. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm going to wrench that up so it's fairly tight.
There you go. You notice it pushed it up against here,
Right.
and now it's applying pressure to actually squeeze caulk
it up.
out the end of it.
Right.
Okay.
Grab my glasses.
Now, this is probably not anything you want to eat, but it's not toxic either, right? It's
I
something.
have no idea.
What? Oh, okay.
Doesn't hurt your hands, let's put it that way. And no, I don't eat it. Okay, the only thing I'm missing is my paper bag. I always carry a paper bag. I carry paper towels, because this is a messy job.
Oh, okay.
I also carry wet paper towels, because this, you can wipe it with your fingers and stuff, or you can wipe it with paper towel, wet paper towel with your finger, and it gets a lot smoother. And comes off a little bit easier.
So inside of that bag right there, you've got what? Both?
I got nothing inside the bag.
Oh, nothing inside
This,
it.
this is a garbage bag. And my old ladder used to have a thing that you could just hook it in here, but unfortunately I can't.
Do you need some paper towels as well?
Well, I got paper towels, two wet ones,
Oh,
two dry
okay.
ones.
I see. Dry ones in your back pockets, and the wet ones are up there on the ladder.
All right, we're ready to go. All right,
Ready to
so
go.
I got to put a seam, so that seam, a little bit up here, in the corner, and then it'll go down both sides. I probably won't do all that now. I'm just going to give you an idea of how all of this is done.
Okay.
All right, so starting, how you angle this is important. If you have it like that and put the tip against it, it's just going to come out all over the place. You want to make sure that you're angling that so that it's kind of matching with the wood.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you don't make a huge mess out of it. All right, release the pressure. I do all this by my hands, my fingers. Move it down. Okay, so that seems pretty much done. I take the excess that I have and use it to fill the holes. I could use some other type of filler, but as long as I got some excess of the
Oh, the nail holes you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh,
little
okay.
nail holes with it. It's good use of it.
After all, it's already on your finger.
What's that?
I say, it's already on your finger.
Well, it's gonna get all over the place.
So you might as well just use it.
It's not a job that anybody that wants to stay clean doesn't want this job.
I'm looking up at there, and boy, that seam, that gap just disappeared.
They're all done. Sometimes you have to work it in a little bit,
Uh-huh.
so it's touching both sides. Sometimes the paint will fill that in, but that's fill it with caulk. So we'll finish that up, and then we'll go back over the bottom here and get to a point where at least one section's been done. So quiet down there.
Well, I'm in awe. You're kind of like a modern day Picasso with that stuff. I'm just watching, I'm amazed. All those gaps have disappeared and it looks like one continuous piece.
Yeah, we'll work on a little bit more too to get it a little smoother.
Wow, beautiful. Come back in a second. All right, there's another angle here. Some artists work in oils or clay. Tom works in caulk. But he achieves the same kinds of artistic results. This looks like another one of those deals where if you had an opportunity to practice on some pieces of wood somewhere, you might want to try doing that, because depending on how hard you squeeze that trigger, you'll get a ton of goop that you don't want or not enough. So a little bit of practice, I bet.
Also depends on how big the hole is.
Right, right. Yeah.
All right, so that section is ready for paint.
Nice. Beautiful.
Oh, spray.
And that's where your wet paper towel comes in?
That's when the wet paper towel comes in. Takes that right off. All right, so for my purposes, that section is done.
And it looks great from down here.
Yeah, once you paint it, it looks even better.
I'll bet. Nice job, Tom.
Okay.
So it's really that easy, huh? Just be careful as you feed that caulk in there, smooth it with your fingers, wipe it off the excess, and you're ready for paint.
You're ready to paint.
No sanding needed or anything like that.
Nope, no sanding.
Beautiful. Well done.
You have to make sure you run over all the places you put this with the wet cloth before it dries, okay? Because
Okay.
if it dries, you'll see, where it's kind of been applied, unless you paint the whole thing and
Gotcha.
smooth it out.
So that wet paper towel is a must-have.
Wet paper towel, wet something is the most.
All right. Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right.